Modern dating isn't a love story. It's a Cold War with better lighting and worse communication. 1. The betrayal hangover. Every time you get ghosted, your brain treats it like physical pain. MRI scans show heartbreak activates the same neural pathways as breaking a bone. That's why rejection feels literally bruising. The kicker? Your brain will replay the memory on loop, trying to solve what went wrong, like emotional torture disguised as closure. Meanwhile, your ex is out there posting stories with motivational quotes. Healing? No, just a dopamine arms race. 2. The trust deficit disorder. Modern relationships fail not from cheating, but from preemptive suspicion. Studies show that people who grew up during the social media surveillance era are 37% less likely to believe their partner's explanations, not because they lie more, but because everyone can lie better now. Filters, DMs, and last-seen timestamps have turned love into an FBI investigation with worse lighting. 3. The emotional inflation problem. In today's economy of attention, vulnerability is overpriced and trust is undervalued. Constant exposure to performative relationships online makes genuine connection feel fake by default. You see someone post date night and instantly assume it's damage control. We don't believe love anymore unless it looks like an ad, and that's exactly why it keeps failing. 4. The maybe mindset. Both men and women are now allergic to certainty. Everyone's keeping options open, pretending that indecision equals freedom. But psychological research says chronic ambivalence triggers the same anxiety circuits as abandonment. Translation: ghosting doesn't save emotions. It just spreads the pain equally across every situationship like emotional communism. 5. The trauma Olympics. Somewhere along the way, vulnerability became competition. Instead of intimacy, we trade trauma stories for social capital. Whoever's been hurt the most wins empathy points. The problem? Empathy turns into suspicion. Every sad story feels rehearsed. Every tear feels tactical. We're all PR agents for our own pain, and it's killing authenticity faster than heartbreak. 6. The algorithm of mistrust. Dating apps teach you to expect betrayal statistically. Each swipe promises abundance, but psychologically, it trains you to believe everyone is replaceable. When love becomes inventory, loyalty feels irrational. Your brain, flooded with microdopamine hits, starts treating affection like a subscription service. Cancel anytime, no refunds. 7. The nice guy, nice girl. Rebrand kindness used to be a virtue. Now it's a red flag. If someone's too nice, we assume manipulation. That's not paranoia, it's conditioning. Repeated exposure to fake charm and love bombing has rewired our trust radar. We no longer recognize genuine care, only patterns of control. So the innocent pay for the sins of the charming. 8. The status mirage. Psychologists call it mate value inflation. When both genders overestimate their dating market worth thanks to likes, filters, and compliments from strangers. It's not ego, it's data distortion. When everyone's getting micro-validation 24/7, even decent people start believing they can do better. Love becomes a negotiation between delusions. 9. The attachment paradox. We crave emotional safety but glorify detachment. TikTok calls it unbothered energy. Psychology calls it avoidant attachment dressed in designer clothes. The more we fear intimacy, the more we fetishize independence, until loneliness feels like self-respect and commitment feels like weakness. It's not empowerment, it's emotional self-sabotage with a skincare routine. 10. The empathy burnout. After enough betrayals, people don't stop loving, they stop caring. Empathy fatigue hits when your brain associates compassion with danger. You stop giving second chances, not because you're cold, but because your nervous system can't afford another disappointment. Love becomes a threat, and trust, a luxury product for people who haven't been burned yet. 11. The screenshot generation. Every word you send is potential evidence. Texts aren't conversations anymore. They're archives. That's why people don't open up. They draft like lawyers. Good morning turns into proof of intent. One wrong emoji and you're the villain in someone's group chat. The brain's natural reward for vulnerability, oxytocin, gets hijacked by anxiety. You don't bond, you self-edit. We're not building intimacy anymore. We're writing scripts for imaginary trials. 12. The reverse hero complex. Everyone's trying to fix someone until they realize they're the villain in that person's healing story. Psychologists call it rescue-based bonding, and it's romantic poison. You mistake chaos for depth, red flags for destiny. You tell yourself you're being loyal when really you're addicted to being needed. It's not love, it's emotional cosplay. One partner plays the savior, the other plays the wound. Both end up bleeding. 13. The prove it paradox. Modern love runs on suspicion loops. We demand proof of loyalty before we give trust. So we test people, delay responses, fake jealousy, stage emotional obstacles just to see if they care. The result? Self-fulfilling sabotage. The very act of testing destroys the thing you're testing for. It's like burning down your house to check if the smoke alarms work. 14. The mirror match trap. People think they want compatibility. What they actually chase is familiar pain. Studies on attraction show we subconsciously seek partners who recreate our childhood emotional patterns. Not because they make us happy, but because they make us feel home. So if love feels like déjà vu, it's probably because your nervous system just matched with its old trauma pen pal. 15. The validation economy. In this market, affection has exchange rates. Compliments are currency, attention is inflation, and everyone's broke. Research shows that scrolling social media for just 10 minutes lowers perceived relationship satisfaction by 25%. Why? Because digital validation devalues real connection. You can't trust your partner's words when their likes are public property. Love is no longer a bond. It's a leaderboard. 16. The strategic vulnerability illusion. We've mastered fake openness. Oversharing online looks like honesty, but it's actually emotional misdirection. Real vulnerability risks rejection. Performed vulnerability collects followers. The brain doesn't know the difference. It still releases oxytocin. That's why digital deep talks feel intimate, but fade fast. It's emotional fast food, heavy on flavor, zero nourishment. 17. The gendered mistrust loop. Men are taught to distrust emotion. Women are taught to distrust intention. He assumes her feelings will trap him. She assumes his affection has an agenda. Both armor up, different shields, same loneliness. It's not biology. It's social conditioning disguised as self-protection. Modern dating isn't men versus women. It's fear versus fear, fighting for dominance under mood lighting. 18. The algorithmic ghost. You're not paranoid. The algorithm really is making you doubt people. When you see your partner's For You page full of the exact type they told you not to worry about, your amygdala goes DEFCON 1. The brain can't tell the difference between digital behavior and physical cheating. That 0.3-second scroll is enough to trigger cortisol spikes. Trust isn't being broken, it's being data mined. 19. The selective honesty effect. We call it protecting feelings, but it's really emotional risk management. Both genders lie, just in different currencies. Men omit, women soften. The irony? Both claim to want honesty, but neither can tolerate its raw version. So we sugarcoat until truth dissolves into plausible deniability. Love becomes a PR campaign where sincerity gets edited for brand safety. 20. The nostalgia delusion. Everyone swears dating was better back then. It wasn't. People just didn't have options. Anxiety psychology calls this choice overload. When too many options make commitment feel like loss. Our ancestors married the neighbor. We scroll through entire cities. The problem isn't that love got worse, it's that it became infinite. And the human brain was never built for infinity. 21. The revenge empathy. Here's a fun modern twist. Empathy now has an expiration date. People mirror your emotions not to connect, but to calculate. The new rule is, feel just enough to learn how to hurt. Research from Cambridge shows emotional intelligence can predict manipulation just as strongly as compassion, meaning the more someone understands you, the more efficiently they can weaponize that knowledge later. It's empathy turned into espionage. The moment you tell someone what broke you, they know exactly where to aim next time. 22. The reputation economy. Dating used to be private. Now it's public performance art. One argument and suddenly your entire relationship is trial by social media. Screenshots, cryptic quotes, and soft launches replace communication. Modern partners don't fear betrayal, they fear humiliation. Psychology calls it reputational damage aversion, the anxiety that you'll be misrepresented in someone's digital story. So instead of talking things out, people preemptively retreat. Love used to require vulnerability. Now it requires brand management. 23. The 50-50 fallacy. Everyone says they want equality, but emotionally, most people still keep score. Who texted first? Who apologized last? Who gave more effort? Reciprocity becomes arithmetic. But trust doesn't grow from balance sheets. It grows from belief. The brain's oxytocin system thrives on generosity, not fairness. When you love strategically, you never feel safe because strategy and safety can't coexist. You can't calculate intimacy. You either leap or you lose it. 24. The healing industrial complex. We turned self-awareness into self-defense. Therapy talk went mainstream, but instead of creating empathy, it created diagnostic warfare. Now every fight sounds like "you're projecting" or "that's your attachment style, not mine." Emotional language became ammunition. Instead of connecting, we analyze each other like lab rats. Love can't survive constant psychoanalysis. Eventually, both people stop feeling and start diagnosing. 25. The trust inflation crisis. Here's the paradox. The more we demand transparency, the less we actually trust. Partners share passwords, location pins, even biometrics, thinking it builds safety. But surveillance doesn't equal security. It's just anxiety with better UX. Neuroscientists call this hypervigilant attachment. When you're so afraid of betrayal, you create it. Every notification becomes a heart attack. Every delay, a betrayal fantasy. You're not in a relationship. You're running a 24/7 emotional audit. 26. The mirror war. At this point, men and women aren't fighting each other. They're fighting their own reflections. The masculine fears being used, the feminine fears being deceived. Both protect themselves with cynicism, confusing caution for wisdom. But under every meme, every rant, every "I'm better off alone," there's the same quiet craving to finally relax around someone who won't turn love into a game. The tragedy? We've become so fluent in defense that we forgot how to surrender. So here we are, a generation fluent in flirting but illiterate in trust. Men think women are scheming. Women think men are pretending. Everyone's armed, everyone's exhausted, and nobody feels safe enough to drop the weapon first. So tell me, which psychological glitch do you think ruined modern love the most? Drop it below. Your honesty might just restore someone else's faith.